Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to this channel. It's been a long time, but I do want to bring this channel back and bring reactions here, reacting to all different cultures and yeah, things like this pretty much, because I've not used the channel for ages and I just want to bring it back. But yeah, I want to do reactions, like I said, to different cultures. So in this case, it'll be UK versus Australia. I mean, Australia's a country that I've always had an interest in. I've got family there that I've not really seen much of for years, but I've got family there. And things like this, and I feel like Australians I just think they're great. Like Australian sort of humour I find funny, just things like that. I mean, I'm not too aware of like the ins and outs of the country, but this is a video comparing the UK versus Australia, pros and cons. I would say overall Australia has many more pros because the weather's great. I just feel like it's probably a lot more advanced. I'd say it's probably quite pricey there, which is, I guess, a con, but the UK is also very pricey as well, so they're both cons. Both countries are struggling with that. But, yeah, also, I guess the wildlife in Australia is definitely a con. Like massive spiders and things like this, snakes, etc. But we're going to see what the comparisons are. If you're from Australia, suggest some more sort of videos like this you want me to do reactions to, whether it's food, sports. I'm open to all of it, so yeah, let me know in the comments what you'd want to see in future or other country reactions as well. So yeah, let's jump into this and see how the UK competes with Australia. I think Australia overall will have more pros. I just get that sort of feeling, but yeah, we're going to jump into this and see if that's the case or not.
The UK and Australia.
Australia, mate.
Of course, there are some obvious differences between the two. You've got the weather and the sheer size difference of the countries.
But we want to go through some differences that you might
How much of the outback is...
Go through some differences.
Sheer size difference.
This is all the outback, isn't it? Because I know Australia basically has all of its cities on the south. There's nothing north, pretty much. It's all like around these coastal regions here. And it's all on the coast. I think there's one place called... So I had a little time a few years ago when I was just looking at Australia on my own. Is that Alice Springs? Like in the middle, like in the outback? The outback is just all of this though, isn't it? Yeah, I'm definitely going to do some reactions looking at the geography of Australia as well, because I find it very fascinating.
Of the countries.
But we want to go through some differences that you might experience in your day-to-day life if you're moving from the UK to Australia. Probably one of the main reasons why people migrate to Australia is because of the job opportunities.
Yeah, with lower tax and generally high paying jobs, whether you're a backpacker or not, you're usually going to end up with more money in your pocket working in Australia.
Damn.
We're not going to go into the specifics of tax as it can get pretty complicated and we're by no means a professional.
Definitely not.
But back in the UK, we were seeing it was around a third of our wages was going towards tax, whereas here in Australia it's more around 20%.
And as a backpacker, it's quite likely you're going to end up in the hospitality industry at some point. For a job in hospitality, you can expect about $25 an hour, sometimes even closer to $30 an hour.
Although
is
it Australian dollars, isn't it? I don't know how that compares to like US dollars.
The equivalent of earning about £13 to £16 back in the UK for a job you might already be doing.
That's already a few pound more an hour.
Before we've even talked about tax.
Plus, you're usually paid even more to work on a Saturday and Sunday, and on a public holiday, you might even get double pay. Whereas back in the UK,
you get double pay in the UK on bank holidays for some jobs, for sure.
Get like a base rate for any day of the week you work. It doesn't make a difference.
Even if you're looking to get skilled or experienced work, if you've got a degree or something like that, we've got a lot of friends who have moved over to Australia and they've told us they're getting almost double than what they were getting back in the UK.
Yeah, and also we've been working in bars and I've been earning more than what I was earning doing my graduate job after uni. Crazy.
Damn.
Crazy. Just a little side note before we move on. The cost of living in Australia can be higher than the UK, especially if you're living in Sydney or Melbourne, but we've always found that we've ended up with more money in our pockets since moving over here.
Yeah, we've definitely been able to save more.
The next thing we want to talk about is Australia feels like a very outdoorsy kind of country compared to the UK. Let us explain.
So obviously, you know, Australia is a massive country, but 85% of Australians live within 50 kilometres of the coast, and we feel it has a big impact on people living a more outdoorsy, beachy lifestyle.
Yeah, I remember the first time we wanted to get up for sunrise at Bondi Beach, we thought we were doing this big, like, crazy experience. And then we got there, honestly, there's about 100 people, hundreds of people, all on the beach. They were out for walks, doing yoga, having coffee with friends, surfing, and everyone's just out and about.
Yeah, we thought we were going to be the only ones there, but no. That's just how people
I would love that sort of lifestyle, man, I'll be honest.
Their lives here. It's just
Nice. Obviously, the weather is a lot better in Australia than the UK, but people are more inclined to go out camping and do all these kind of like outdoor activities. And if you really wanted to, even when the seasons change and it gets to winter, you could just move to a different state around Australia and you could chase the sun the whole year round.
Oh.
The dream. Obviously, there are some exceptions in the UK, like people that live maybe in the Lake District or Cornwall. They're definitely more outdoorsy than like a town that we're from.
Also, we noticed that in Australia, they've always got these like free outdoor electric barbecues in parks and beaches, and that just obviously promotes like people to come outside and meet with friends and family and just have a good time.
Next, we're going to talk about the healthcare systems. Now, don't get me wrong, I think both healthcare systems are amazing.
Tasty.
We've got the NHS in the UK and Medicare in Australia.
And I'm sure some Australians would say that the healthcare system here isn't perfect, but we're just talking from our experiences, and we feel that the healthcare system in Australia is a bit better than the UK.
I've just realised the UK is going to get no pros, isn't it? Because they've moved from the UK to Australia, and they obviously just much prefer it. My God, the UK is cooked, man.
Yeah, definitely. Just from our experience, as we said, we would have to wait 3 weeks plus to get a GP appointment back home, which, you know, is nothing against the doctors. They're amazing, but there's just not enough staff. Whereas here, we've managed to get a doctor's appointment the same day, or if not the next day.
Oh, that's a rarity in the UK. Damn. Unless it's like something severe, yeah, that's not anything you're going to get in the UK. Bloody hell, that's making me jealous, man.
It's been amazing.
And we also had friends talk to us about hospital appointments or needing to go to A&E, and they've always been seen like really quickly, really efficiently.
Yeah, very, very good. But the only thing is, in the UK, all ambulances are free, whatever you need. Whereas here, no,
Got to pay.
they're not free. Luckily, we haven't had to experience it. But if you do have to call an ambulance,
it's the American system. You have to pay. I can't believe you have to pay for ambulances. Like, I just find that insane. Like, what if you're having a fucking heart attack and then you just, I can't afford. You're like whoever's helping you, you can't afford to pay for the fucking ambulance. I assume they still come, and you just got debt. But like, I just find that obscene.
it can cost around $1,000.
Just crazy.
Yeah, a lot of people take out ambulance insurance to cover them for that. But
If you don't know about that, then money. Hey, real quick, are you thinking of moving to Australia, or you just like to see some more Australia content? Then why don't you go down under this video and click subscribe.
wow,
Next, we're going to talk about travel, and both domestic and international travel are very different between the two countries.
yeah, when we're talking about the UK, I'd say it's very well connected, both
Europe.
internationally and domestically.
Yeah.
You can pretty much get a train anywhere around
Yeah, and also you've got some of the biggest airports, like Heathrow and stuff, where you can fly to wherever you want.
the country, but they are so
Pricey.
expensive.
Yeah.
Mate, our train system is cooked. It's so much money, man. So much money. It's just, everything's got so expensive. Everything's like privatized now, and it just makes everything so expensive.
Like a train from London to Manchester, which is pretty much across England, it's going to cost you like £50 or something like that. Whereas we got a train from Sydney 2 hours outside of the city, and it cost us $5.
That's actually like less than £3.
Whoa.
So we just thought, why are trains so expensive in the UK?
Yeah, it's not fair. But when it
That's
comes
crazy.
to public transport, the UK definitely wins. The London Underground, in my opinion,
Yeah, but that's not the UK. That's London. You can't use the London Underground as the UK's transport. Come on. I mean, look, every city has like a transport system, whether it's trams or buses. Trying to think of other sort of transport systems you'd have. The only city with an underground is London. But yeah, I guess buses and trams. And I use it every so often, so it's relatively good. Like, you get things that actually no, it's good. You get things at a set time. Like, it's pretty reliable. So yeah, I'd say it's good for that. I can't compare it to Australia though, because I've never been. But you can't use the underground as an example for the whole of the UK.
is the best. You can pretty much get anywhere around London. Guarantee there'll be a tube station or a bus station that will get you there.
When it comes to international travel, the UK is pretty well situated for this. You can get a plane anywhere in Europe for quite cheap, and it's only going to take you sometimes less than an hour. Whereas Australia, you're obviously so far connected from everywhere else.
Yeah, but you've got like Thailand, the Philippines, Vietnam. Like, you're not that. I mean, you are still far, but you've got, like, I guess Japan's probably like a 4-hour flight if I was to guess. Actually, because you're the south of Australia, so maybe even more. But you've got a lot of regions there, like Southeast Asia, which are spots that I would love to go to. So it depends what you fancy. But yeah, the UK is very well located because you got Europe, you got obviously the US the other side, although flights still cost an obscene amount. But yeah, I guess just having Europe on your doorstep is pretty good.
Exactly, just go on a little weekend trip somewhere, can you? It's going to cost you a lot and it's going to take you quite a while to get there.
Next, we're going to talk about the price of fruit and vegetables.
Yeah, the first time.
I'm going to assume it's cheaper in Australia because I guess you can grow a lot more exotic fruits and stuff. Vegetables, though, probably not because, I mean, vegetables don't need to be in as exotic environments, do they? So it's probably quite even, to be honest. It's probably quite comparable.
We went to do our grocery shop in Australia. We could not believe the prices. Some of the things like mushrooms, broccolis, peppers, or capsicums as they call them here. Everything seemed like at least 50% more expensive
Whoa. I was not expecting that.
than the UK.
Yeah, it was crazy. We couldn't believe it and we didn't know why. But now it makes sense because pretty much all the fruit and veg that is sold in Australia is grown in Australia. So obviously they
Oh, so because it's grown in Australia, they make it cost more? I guess that makes sense because importing things always ends up being cheaper because the labour is cheaper and stuff, isn't it?
have to pay a fair wage and all that stuff. Whereas in the UK, apparently 80% of fruit and over half of vegetables are imported to the UK.
That makes
Which
sense.
isn't great. It's not good for the environment, but I think that's why it's so much cheaper because they must
It's not great, but you can't really help it. The UK climate is not sustainable to grow all these fruits, is it?
import them from cheap countries.
Yeah, and if something goes out of season, then they just find it somewhere else cheaper in the world.
Yeah.
Whereas Australia, it's just all very seasonal. So like, for example, broccoli, if that's not in season, you could be paying 2, 3, even more times
Yeah.
price.
Sometimes it's over $10 a kilogram for broccoli.
Oh, that hurt my heart. Broccoli is so cheap. It's just such a cheap food. I mean, I think I spend about 80 pence for like an average sized broccoli usually. And realistically, maybe like £1. Realistically, that's probably like I'm going to say that's like $3 Australian. But I'd assume maybe it's even more.
Not at the minute, it's in season. Go buy some broccoli.
What? That was weird. So the only thing is, it does make it quite hard to eat both healthy and on a budget.
Speaking about being healthy
Or not healthy.
or not healthy, the next thing we're going to talk about is chocolate. The chocolate here is just really not that good.
Okay, I think that's one thing that the UK actually does quite well with. I always hear that the like dairy milk and stuff, like UK chocolate is good. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's not like Belgian chocolate level, but I always hear that like other countries, like for example, the US always gets slandered by Brits, so maybe that's just a rivalry. They're saying Australian chocolate's not good. I guess Australian people probably love their chocolate, but I always see like UK chocolate's always rated quite highly. I mean, I'm proud of that because I do like our chocolate. I will say that myself.
Real.
It's crazy. Like it has a weird waxy texture when you eat
Yeah.
it. Like it doesn't melt in your mouth like it does with chocolate
yeah.
back home. But we don't know if this is like an urban myth or whether it's true. But apparently they add something to the chocolate so it doesn't melt as much as like the
Oh, because it's hotter. That makes sense.
Yeah, because it's hotter in Australia, obviously.
yeah.
But the thing is, like when you're in the supermarket, they've got a good selection of chocolates, like loads of different
dairy
crazy
milk's there.
flavors, and it looks really appealing. But then you try it, it just no.
Doesn't hit the spot.
Lastly, the most important
Damn.
thing, the sizes of beer here. The first time we ordered a beer here, we were like, schooner? What's a schooner? Obviously in the UK, everyone just drinks pints and pretty much nothing else.
Maybe a half pint.
Maybe.
Probably not.
Schooner is 2/3 of a pint, and everyone drinks them here pretty much.
When we first got here, we were like, what is that?
Yeah,
Like, that's a weird size. But now
we're converted.
we're converted. Schooner is the perfect amount of beer.
Nah, you got the more the better. The more the merrier. And Australians love alcohol as well, so I wonder why that's the case. It probably just saves money for the companies, to be honest. But a pint, man, a pint is just perfect. Why would you have 2/3 of a pint? It doesn't even make sense. It's probably healthier though. But I don't know. I feel like you probably just end up buying more.
I think.
Well, that's it. That's all we've got.
Well, there we go. I mean, this is a pretty cool video to see Brits, two Brits' own experiences of moving to Australia and things like that. I mean, let's be real. I didn't think the UK would stand a chance. I just feel like Australia it is just, in terms of most things, it's just better than the UK. I feel like it's more advanced. You earn more money. Obviously, the cost of living is more, but that just sort of goes in hand with earning a higher wage. The lifestyle was just great. you've got great weather. I think I've just said that. It seems perfect. I think for me, the only thing would be like, it's just because it's so far. It's just sort of, I mean, for example, I watch sports and stuff like that. I feel like it's out of sort of the clock. Sort of, it's so like what, it's like 12 hours ahead of the UK. It's probably more than that. Yeah, if I was like watching sporting events like football and stuff, but I've got to wake up like 3 in the morning, you know. But that's realistically a very light issue. In terms of actual life, it just seems like it's the perfect place, to be honest, or better than the UK anyway. But every YouTube British couple likes Australia better than the UK. I can see why. I think life's just better. It's just better quality of life, etc. But yeah, I'm going to do more reactions to other cultures, other countries. Let me know what you want me to do reactions to. If you're from Australia, give me some suggestions, whether it's food, culture, sort of, I guess, like geography, things like this. I'm wanting to look into this country more. So yeah, get suggesting in the comments. And until next time, like, subscribe, and peace.